back, y'all. So, today is day 7 of the new main gaining routine and structure that we're trying to follow. So, with that, that brings us into our volume-based back day, which actually looking kind of forward to. I've got some pull-ups programmed in here because I want to get better at them. It'll help definitely get the lats thickened up, so happy about that. And then, a few other exercises. But the main focus of today, just big, nasty back pump. From our inner traps, lats, rhomboids, a little bit of upper trap, and a little bit of spinal erector. But biggest focused, lats today. So with that, let's go ahead and get into our first movement, which is going to be seated rows. So 5 sets of 20, 100 pounds. Just to start, see how well this volume works out at this weight. Probably end up moving this up pretty quickly over the next couple of weeks. So I got asked about why do I keep posting videos when I have almost no followers and I'm posting on social media and I'm not some big influencer. Like, why do you bother doing it? Because nobody cares about what you're doing. And I kind of never really started out with this with the complete intention of ever getting popular and having a massive following. Like, if it happens, that'd be sweet. But the thing is I'm still going to be working out, and this allows me to follow my own progress. Like just a log of my exercises, my movements, like where do I seem to get weaker, where do I seem to get stronger, how's my form doing over time. Like, it gives me reference points to look at and be able to evaluate what I've been doing. And by knowing, hey, I need to go work out so I can post a video, helps keeps me motivated to go post. Or should I say to go work out so I can post and log it. So it's not necessarily like trying to make content for people. This is what I'm doing for myself to make sure I keep myself responsible. Because if you're not the very minimum, holding yourself responsible to something, you're never going to commit to it. And if you're not committed to something, how are you ever going to impact other people's lives? At least for the better, right? So you're never going to get someone to be like, oh, you know what, maybe I shouldn't eat 3 candy bars a night when I get home from work. Or maybe it's not good to eat 2 whole pizzas a day. Or, I sit behind a desk all day, maybe I should get up and go for a walk tonight. If you can't do it yourself, you're never going to be able to help other people do it, that's for sure. So, it's kind of like the leading by example. So if you can't go out there, get it done for yourself. That's more the bigger problem. And if along the way, people want to start following me, they start commenting, pressing that like button, hey man, that's awesome. That'll help keep me going for sure. But it's not necessarily what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it so that way I can hold myself accountable. Make sure I'm not letting myself down. And that kind of matters more than anyone else's, like, comment, whatever. But, on the flip side of that, if I do get to build a following and people start supporting me and everything else, long-term wise, like I would definitely love to open a gym and, help other people do better for themselves in some sort of way, and not be that gym that charges, $70, $80 to have a nice gym. Like, we're going to be better than Planet Fitness for sure, but memberships obviously do fuel how good of equipment you can get at that point. But that's a whole different topic for a different day. Second movement here, pull-ups. Now that the lats, back's a little warmed up, now I'm okay with getting my weight thrown onto my shoulders. So I'm a little bit heavier than what we're doing rows at. So with that, we're going to do 5 sets. We're going to shoot for 8 to 10 reps per set here. It's going to be super hard. I know I'm not going to be able to hit that probably on the 4th and 5th set, but that's what we're going to work up to first, is just trying to get to 5 by 10. After the disaster what those pull-ups are, man, those things suck. Never been great at them, but at one point I was pretty decent with them, but I was training them a lot. I haven't trained them in like 10 years really. The first time I think I kind of really did pull-ups again was when we did the Murph for Memorial Day. So, with that, those are going to take some work. A lot of work. But 5 sets, basically 6. It was more like 10 sets of 3. But either way, we got through them. So now we're going to go ahead and move into rear cable flies to start focusing on that rear delt. Now that our lats have had a lot of focus. So now we're going to move into rear delt, inner trap, because we're going to let the shoulder come around now. And then hit that fly, so it's not going to be super strict, but we're going to get an extremely good pump from these. So 5 sets, 20 reps. Now that we're done with the rear cable flies, we're going to move into overhead presses now, getting into our medial and front delts. Boy, oh boy. My rear delts, like inner traps, rhomboids, are super pumped up from allowing the shoulder to come forward and then pulling it back and then doing the rear fly to hit the rear delt. Whew, it adds up. But we're going to start off with 25s here. These are going to be sets of 10s. Then we're going to go 25, 40, 55. And as long as that delt insertion feels good, we'll move up to the 70s and see what we could do with those today. So back to, making content. Onto the influencer side of thing, I don't know if it'll ever be, worth the effort to pay out on that. But, it'd be cool, but that's not, again, the overall reason for doing it. So it's kind of like I'm doing this, and if that happens, that would be sweet. And a big part to that is, the fact that I've been on disability for so long. If that was to work out and actually create, some sort of beneficial income source, that would be awesome. Even if it worked out to be enough, to where I can slowly start amassing gym equipment and being able to, in 5-10 years from now, open a gym. That would be sweet. Because my dream gym, I would say, would probably be, I don't know, 4,500 to 6,500-ish square feet. Ladies, men's locker room with, I don't know, say 20 lockers in each one, 2 showers in each one, 2 bathroom stalls in each one, with a co-ed, dry sauna, a hot tub as amenities, and then be able to have say 4 squat racks, power racks to squat and deadlift at with full platforms, 2 functional trainers, and then 2 flat benches, 2 incline benches, a decline bench, an overhead press bench, 1 machine plate loaded version of all of those, a hack squat, a leg press, 45-degree sled style, pendulum leg press, pendulum hack squat, pull-over machine, 2 big cable racks, and then 1 of those crazy jungle gym things. I have 6 treadmills, 2 stair steppers, 4 ellipticals, couple Roman chairs, ab machines, you know, 2 leg extension machines, each one being a different brand, a laying leg curl, a seated leg curl, seated calf machine, standing calf machine, 2 pec decks, each one a different brand, and then, you know, I'm sure there's a few other machines that I'd want to throw in there, but then also have a little turf area to do like yoke walks and things like that, hurdles, all that stuff. So it would be much more of like a bodybuilding, powerlifting, and sports athletic based gym. With just a handful of like the nice amenities. You know, I want my bathrooms to be clean all the time. Dry saunas are awesome. The hot tub is awesome. I love them. Other people love them. You know, it's a great draw to a gym. And then I think maybe some sort of little not say a taco truck, but some sort of food truck, you know, get someone to do like burrito bowl type of things. So, you know, you got some healthy options when you leave the gym. Ground beef, chicken, lettuce, veggies, you know, that type of stuff. Cheese, obviously. So I think something like that would be pretty nice overall. But those are dreams. Those are dreams from now. But with that, we're crushing this shit. I got to 8 on that last set of 70s, and I was not going to get a 9th and a 10th. I could feel my core kind of get weak, and I'm starting to like fold in the chair basically, and my shoulders were just starting to give up. So, before we make this delta insertion angry, we're just calling it at 8, and now we got to work up to get into 10. So that's awesome. Most of our programming has been like spot on or very close. So now we've got dumbbell curls to do, nice free weight. We're going to hit these for sets of 10 to 15 is what I've got written on there. So we'll see what we can do, but it's going to go 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 25 pounds, and then maybe the 30s. I've got them. We'll see what happens. So these light ones here are mostly just to kind of make sure the elbows are ready and the biceps are ready. They've got a little blood in them before we put any load on it. Because we definitely don't want to tear a bicep or rip a freaking tendon up. We already have tendon issues. So all right, so Got up to the 25s. I'm going to go ahead and shoot for the 30s here. Probably only going to do one set. I can kind of just tell that the pump is just fading off. Kind of feels like crap. I think I did too much this morning with doing yard work and just haven't had enough carbs to get to this point today, and just a little down on energy, probably a little dehydrated, so it's going to affect the pump. So I'm going to listen to my body on that, but I want to hit one more set, and then we'll be calling it out of here. So that's something I've been working on, is trying to make sure I eat the same and drink the same. Before we come out here to eliminate some factors. And whether or not some of my workouts are suffering because of that, or if overall it's a little too much volume, or maybe my diet isn't enough before I'm getting in here and I got to eat a third meal before I come in instead of 2 before and 2 after. But either way, it's, again, making sure I'm tracking and logging everything I'm doing. And now I've got the proof of how my workout was, and then I've got my food log, so I can go back and be like, oh, you know what, this day was this day was that, and we performed like this. So I can go back and do that for the last entire year. And it's been helping me make some changes. Some of the changes I made have been detrimental. Some of them have been positive. So we're kind of trending back in that positive direction now, but things are rough. I kind of feel like I don't recover well. I'm always tired and fatigued, and it's just rough. But we're still in here grinding it out, and that's what matters. So you got to make sure you're doing it for yourself and just making sure you're putting in your own effort, and don't worry about what anyone else says or what they're doing. But with that, guys, if you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate it very much. We're at like 1,020 something subs now. It's awesome. We're slowly growing. So it would be cool, you know, to see that 2,500 mark, and then 5,000, and then maybe someday like 10 plus. Be super cool. But with that, make sure you're out there working towards your goals, getting your stuff done, and most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.